Live from the Texas Cheerlickers Studios. It's in the building with Mike Taylor and Rudy J.
Well, Rudy's married to a...
I am.
Common law by
You
now.
are common law. You can take half your shit. Like,
We're both with Mexican women. I am 33% Hispanic, i.e. Mexican. So happy Cinco de Mayo. But no, we're not all the way Mexican, so we're all the way working today. We're not taking Cinco de Mayo off. And Jose, he's not a real Mexican. He's Venezuelan. That's one of
He's
those
Latino.
That's weirdo Mexican.
That's true.
weirdo.
I don't celebrate.
Yeah. Do y'all hate the word Hispanic?
I don't. I prefer it.
I don't love it.
I hate saying the M word. Sounds derogatory to me.
But that's because you were
Like
raised
if
poorly.
you are, then you can say it. But for me, I just like I say
Calling a
Hispanic.
Mexican
I always say
a Mexican is
I always-
derogatory.
What's a Mexican?
Someone that has Mexican heritage, descendancy.
I prefer Hispanic.
No, see, I don't.
I
Hispanic.
prefer Hispanic.
Hispanic lumps
I
every
think-
Latino into the same
Well,
boat.
I think it's up to y'all. I mean, you're only 33, so
I don't know.
you're-
I don't know shit about Panama.
yeah, no, I don't either.
I don't know shit
I
about-
I leave it up to the Latino
yeah.
population on what. If you want me to call you Mexican,
Yeah.
I will. If you want me to call you Hispanic,
Yeah.
I will.
can't-
I'll leave it
I
up to
can't-
them.
I can't tell you where the good restaurants are in Uruguay, but I can
Mm.
tell you about Mexican people. You know what I mean? There's how many Latinos live in this world?
I don't know.
Over 1 billion, right? Gotta be.
Easy.
I mean, well, that's the census. They don't know it's 1.8.
They reproduce. Yeah. Yeah. No
We
shit.
don't partake in the census.
No, I don't partake.
Why
in the
would you do that?
census. Yeah.
No, I'm Hispanic. I'm fine with it. I've gotten used to it, but I don't love it. If you're from Venezuela, I'm Venezuelan. If you're Cuban, I'm Cubano.
But most people from San Antonio
Mhm.
aren't from Mexico.
I pissed off many a listener over the years because I just call them all Mexican.
Yeah, they're not. They're not from Mexico.
Why not? Manu's not Mexican, dumbass. Well,
He's not.
he speaks Mexican. Shit.
No, he's Argentinian. Yeah, like if most like my wife ain't from Mexico.
Yeah, Manu's more Italian than Mexican.
Yeah,
He just happens to
Nina's
speak
not
Spain.
from Nina's not from Mexico,
Her parents are. Her lineage is.
but she's not.
No, she's not. She's
Right.
Mexican American.
Mm-hmm.
I.e. Hispanic.
I like that.
The one that I do not like is Latinx. I don't like that.
I don't know
one.
what that even means. I
It's
never
a
even
young
heard
man's
that.
term. These millennials started using Latinx. It's dumb. I don't like that at all. That's very
Yeah.
just like put us all in the same corner.
That is dumb. But Ethel Wolf says, as a Mexican born in Mexico, I preferred being called a Mexican than Hispanic. Don't lump me with those Venezuelans.
He's born in Mexico though.
Don't lump
Shout
me
to
with
you.
those Venezuelans.
He's born in Mexico.
Yeah, Jose's legit from Venezuela. What town?
No,
again?
he's not.
Yeah, he is. What town was it?
Yeah, Caracas, Venezuela.
Oh, from Caracas,
My
okay.
birth certificate's in Spanish, Rudy. I'll give you all 13 pages.
Yeah.
Okay,
all
cool.
13 pages. The first 2 pages are all of his names. Do you have is it Jose Melendez Cancivo Gonzalo Ortiz Gonzalo Batista Canada Zamora Bouquet?
No, it's just Jose Ramon Bouquet, but I was almost John Claude. I was almost a John Claude. That would have been enough.
Why?
I don't know.
Jean-Claude Bouquet.
Yeah,
Because when you hear that, you think Venezuela.
That's awful.
I was very close to being a John Claude.
Was your pops a big Van Damme fan?
No, I don't know why they were decided John Claude. I don't know. There's-
All right. Well, very good. Welcome in here and happy. I tried to just say happy Cinco de Mayo, but we can't just say
No,
something.
we gotta
It
get
turns
to-
into bullshit. Welcome in here. It is in the building. It is episode number 318 in this
Is it?
existence. Yes.
Damn.
Here from the Texas Cheer Studios.
What
in
up, Texas Cheer?
Southtown, Texas. The audio disseminator is Jean-Claude Bouquet, a.k.a. Bookie. Thanks to those that watched us on Instant Rewind last night. Did a lot
Great
of
show
pop
last
talk. I thought it went well. Every Sunday night on the Anthem TV app, Rudy and I will have Instant Rewind for you on the Anthem TV app, just like we have this daily podcast on the Anthem app too. And we also have it on Love You Hard TV, and it's also being simulcasted on Pub Sports Radio. So your middle name is Ramon.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you learn more about me every day.
Well, your name's trending well today.
Why?
I watched, San Antonio's own Ramon Cardenas
Oh,
was thrown into the deep end last night. He's got a title fight, which is awesome. A massive underdog to Naoya Inoue, the Japanese monster is what they call him. So if we're gonna, if Canelo Alvarez is still the best pound for pound boxer on earth,
He's not.
I'm thinking that Inoue probably is. If it's not still Canelo,
No, it's Terrence Crawford.
could be, and we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out in September. But it's for subjective.
Yeah,
But for me, it's Terrence.
I think
Some say Canelo.
Yeah.
Some say the dude from Japan.
the Japanese kid that beat our kid last night
Yeah.
is just so. He's great at everything. He's like a 5-tool baseball player. He does it all well. So does T. Crawford. And I look forward to this fight. It's taken way too long, typical boxing, for these two to get into the ring.
You come down,
together.
though. You come up. You come down, though. You come
Yeah.
up. Me 60, you 40. You 55, me 35. That's why boxing is taking the blows it's taking, and that's why Saturday night was trash.
That was a shit show.
trash.
If I'm that Cuban kid, I'm worried. Those sheiks were not happy.
I wonder if his direct deposit went through.
Dude, that
I wouldn't have paid him.
when the sheiks are paying your ass,
I'm like, yo, you're in breach of
you
contract.
half-ass like that. That was
You're in breach of
piss
contract.
poor.
That shit was terrible.
And Canelo was
That
pissed.
sounds like a soccer player.
Oh boy, Canaldo, the boxer, what's his
Right.
name? He was pissed. He's like, this is not.
No, he didn't want to hug him.
This is
Mary
bullshit.
Cuban went up to hug him like, thanks for the 10 mil. Canelo's like, no, don't hug me.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, don't touch me. Matter of fact, don't look at me. Matter of fact, take your ass in the back and
Yeah.
shower and get your ass on the plane.
No, they shouldn't have fought. The kid shouldn't have been given. He shouldn't have. been
Canelo's
in the
like,
ring
y'all
with
gonna
Canelo.
pay me $80 million? I'm gonna fight
Yeah,
somebody.
but the kid shouldn't have fought.
Yeah,
that
he
was
shouldn't.
to give him a shot like that and take care of that kid. He's from Cuba. Whatever he made, he's set forever. No pride, no shame. I just worry about his safety getting out of Riyadh.
Right.
They don't screw around in Riyadh. They'll cut your head off and leave it out on a fence post, as we should start doing here with our criminals, not boxers that mail in boxing matches.
School shooters should definitely be tortured on live television,
Decapitated. Yeah.
like a State of the Union.
Child molester should be publicly
Yeah, like
excoriated.
I would do the school shooters like State of the Union, like ABC, NBC,
See,
cut their balls off,
absolutely,
stuff them in their mouth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that type of shit.
Balls in Your Mouth talk presented by the official real estate agent of the
Damn,
building.
don't do Jay like
Jay
that.
Ribaldo.
He's a man of God.
He's a fine Catholic. He's mourning the loss of the Pope, but he's still out there on the streets for the people. He's representing in the building. Make sure that if you're in the market to buy or sell, Jay Ribaldo's the guy. If you don't have the right quarterback, it don't matter who your edge rusher is or your safety or your running back. If you don't have the right QB, it ain't going to get done right. How often do you buy a house over the course of your lifetime? Couple of times, maybe.
Depends on if you're you.
Well, that's a different story. Let's not use me in the algorithm here. Let's not use me as an example.
You've had about 12. But yeah, I got
normal people.
Twice.
Normal
maybe
human
2-3
beings
times.
don't
Maybe.
move that often.
No.
So certainly don't buy a home that often. So when that time comes, why would you settle for less? Go get our guy, Jay Ribaldo. Look at all of his listings on his website, Ribaldo.com. You can call him at 210-887-1080. You can email him at jribaldo@kw.com. It is Jay Ribaldo. Let's do a horse race, because once we get into pop, it may
What is
take
this
over
about?
for a minute.
What is this horse race for?
So
what
today we're
happened?
giving away what we're about to do here. This is this is from last week's preliminaries. This is the final race here.
For VIP.
We're giving away 3 pair of VIP barbecue tickets here today in this race. So first, second, and third right now are about to win a pair of VIP all-access passes to the 2017 Cooking for the Kids Taylor Barbecue here in a couple of weeks on the 17th. We're going to do, in honor of the Kentucky Derby that only went 47 seconds yesterday, we have set the timer to 47 seconds, and here is the resident horse play-by-play man, Rudy J.
In 3, 2, 1. And what I've learned with these horse races, how it starts means nada way. Nada. I'm going to take, I'm not going to commentate it. I'm going to pick, because now I'm starting to figure this thing out. I'm going to take Tagular 38-16 at the end.
Navarro's
to win. Because Tagular what happens is Tagular has a bunch of good karma with our show.
Oh, no.
And the karma gods continue to bless him. So I got Tagular going to come out and win this thing here late. They got about 5 seconds. That's when we decide the winner. But, my mom's in the race. Hopefully my mom wins.
Oh, my mom.
My mom's in there. I forgot she gave
so you just
$20.
picked against your mom.
Oh, go, mama.
Down
Go,
the
mama.
They come.
3. Go, mom.
What's it going to be? First,
David
second, here comes
Salinas.
David.
I
Boom.
told you.
It always goes.
It always
that way.
goes that way.
All right. So, but all three of these just won VIP passes.
David Jason,
Salinas,
and Brian. Now, Jason lives in Portland.
Jason?
Jason is in Portland, Oregon. Jason, if you're planning to come down, great. But if not, I can donate your tickets to somebody if you'd like me to. So, Jason, hit me up. All three of y'all, Salinas, Garcia, Whitener. You boys jump into my DMs somehow, some way. Oh, David's watching now. David, you just want a pair of tickets. Jose, see if you can't get these dudes' email or phone number.
Or give them
I
to
don't
one
want
of
to
your.
put it on the chat, though. We got to be able to get a hold of them.
Jason has a bunch of buddies down here. He can
Y'all
find
reach
someone
out
to give
to
them
me. Yeah, y'all reach out to me. Salinas, Whitener, and Garcia. Y'all reach out to me. We'll figure out how to get your tickets. And if that dude in Portland can't make it, then I'll give his to somebody he wants me to. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations to those dudes.
Congratulations.
That's what you get when you're either a member or you donate money to the cause.
Yep.
Two things. We have a members-only show coming up today when this show's over. And the other thing is, if you'd like to jump in there and start tipping, because when you tip us money, you get treated like VIP. Not if you're a member and you tip us. I mean, me and Rudy will come to your house if you need us to.
Wow.
That's where we are still in this company.
We didn't say we're going to do anything, Jose. Shit. We
well,
just
hang
said
out,
we
watch
come to
a
the
game
house.
and drink
Jesus.
a beer, you sex weirdo.
Damn,
He's such a weirdo.
He
God
is.
dang, man.
That sounded interesting.
So if you want, gold membership is you're a member and you tip this show on occasion. Silver is you tip us. Bronze is you're just a subscriber. We love you. Bronze are fine, but we like the other ones better. If you want to jump into at least silver category, like and comment, donate via the super chat too, and buy me a coffee. Subscribe to us for free on Love You Hard TV and our partners at Anthem TV and audio versions on Believe, and become a member for just $4.99 a month. We're having a members only coming up this morning here on In the Building. All right. Now let's get into Popovich. Comes down right as we're getting off Friday. It was weird the way it
like
went down.
10:50?
Yes.
Yeah, and we had stuff. Rudy had stuff he had planned to do, so we couldn't just like make the decision on the fly to keep rolling.
Right.
You had important business. And so we only got about 10 minutes of time on this particular show. We got pretty good amount of time last night.
Pretty much 30 minutes last night. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a lot. So it's been a weekend, and I was admittedly kicked right in the balls when we found out that Pop was no longer going to be the coach, even though it was the right thing to do, and I've been screaming for it.
Even though you called security to have him exited out of the building,
we didn't love having to do that.
You call security on the man. Hey, can we get? Hey, I need security up here. We got to get Gregg Popovich out of here.
Didn't kick
Over
him
and
out.
out.
No, he still has an office. He's just not going to get to coach ball no more.
And then he started crying on Friday night.
I teared up at lunch on Friday.
What, watching old clips?
No, so me and Nina went to lunch, and we were talking about stories, and we're getting into
Cap?
his impact and stuff because Nina don't care about basketball, but she's aware of.
We all
the
know
impact.
Pop and love Pop. Yeah.
Yeah, whether you watch a Spurs game or not, Pop's just a beloved cult figure in our city. I would go as to say, I mean, there are a few people in the country that have single-handedly had the impact on their particular town that guy has had on ours in so many different ways, to women, children, old people that don't even go to the games, the vernacular of our city, part of how we act, the old school conservative when it comes to family values and morals and supporting the country and all that kind of thing.
And for me,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't give a shit if y'all don't like it, but in a time when peaceful protests were being frowned upon, and we're in the midst of, a social justice upheaval, it was refreshing for me as a black man to see a rich white man stand up for my people in a time where nobody wanted to, and in a time where he was losing money. Well, the organization was losing money and season ticket holders. Pop didn't give a shit. He spoke out of what he felt was right. I'm not saying he was right or wrong. I'm just telling you how he made me feel as a black man in a world where a lot of times, hell, even black people, even big-time black athletes are scared to speak out during these type of times when everybody's at each other's throats. Pop had our backs, so I'm forever indebted to him for doing that. And especially when the organization didn't even really want him to do that. The organization, a lot of people upstairs at that time, was on the opposite side of how he felt. So for Pop to do that during those times, like I said, this is 2016 and beyond, and he's continued to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Can never do any wrong in my eyes. I don't always agree with them, whether we talking about basketball or whatever, but for that moment in time where as crazy as the world got, forever indebted to Pop.
You know, I say this a lot about celebrities. Like, they'll get busted in a whorehouse or with 4 women at once or something like this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I clearly have sexual
I'm
compulsion disorder.
I'm a what is sex addict?
Sex addict.
Didn't Tiger go sex addict?
Yeah,
I went to
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Or every time a celebrity gets busted doing something, they change their tune. 99% of all politicians change their opinion. Which, by the way, if you get enlightened as you get older and you change your mind on a view as a politician, I think that's good. I'm not saying that because a lot of people are like, oh, you changed your mind on your opinion on Vietnam. Yeah, it was also 1970 and I was 28. Yeah, I've changed my fucking opinion. Politicians are allowed to change their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
None of them have the balls to admit that they changed their mind. The ones that I'm talking about are the ones that lie to you during the campaign, knowing they don't think what they say,
Right.
and then that comes out when the campaign's over. Or celebrities that get caught doing dumbass shit, or just rando people. What I respected about Pop, since you brought this part up, is that he was a man of principle. Whether you agreed with his principles or not, he was a man of principle.
Yeah, we're not saying he's right or wrong. We're just saying
And
he
he
stood
didn't
on
give a
what
shit.
he believed. Right.
He didn't give a shit. He had no F's given.
Right.
And he just didn't give a shit. And I whether you agreed or not, it doesn't matter. You know, a lot of people don't like him because of the political rants, but that's because you're one side. You don't look at things the way you should.
Right.
You don't look at everything individual. It's all one side or
Right.
the other. And here's the ironic part about the Spurs. You mentioned the ownership.
That was at that time. Now we got new people, new investors.
Yeah, and they're just as conservative and MAGA as they've ever been.
Right.
And to their credit, they don't care. The Holt family donated more money to the Donald Trump super PAC in the state than anybody in the state of Texas. They matched everybody. Joe Gebbia, one of the co-owners who owns like 18% of the Spurs, he's a high rank. He's the guy that founded Airbnb. Shit, he renounced the Democratic Party 2 years ago.
They don't care.
A lifelong Democrat, changed his mind, turned himself into a Republican. Shit, now he's giving advice to Doge on how to reduce money and shit like that. So they don't care though, because they're men of principle. All of them. The owners that vote for Trump and the head coach the limousine liberal that bitches at the right all the time. It's a lesson in, hey man, we're not going to break up over it. We're not going to be enemies because we're men of principle. We can have mature discussions and move on. All right, the impact. Hell, there you go. I mean, he's probably had some political impact in our city, probably. For me, God, pick a letter of the alphabet. I have a Pop story,
Oh, I know.
Yours is cool. I mean, you've had some good interactions with him. All my interactions with Pop over the years were poor and were bad. A lot of y'all have not heard the Chippy story. It's an old story. Thought I'd retell it today. When Pop got mad at me.
Well,
because I was fucking with him.
Well, most of the time you were doing a bit. That's why.
He didn't like me in there fucking with him.
Yeah, because
one time I stood up for somebody that I was working with, which we'll get into in a minute. But wanted to play this Q&A here. It's one question. Was this right after COVID? Set the table on this question.
This is 2019 Media Day.
Okay.
This is, keep in mind, this was 2000. This is after he left in the middle of the Golden State series.
Yeah.
Because his wife passed away.
Oh, that's because
after
his Aaron passed.
Yeah, this is after Aaron passed. So Aaron had passed that previous playoff series against Golden State.
Uh-huh.
And this was our first time my first time getting to talk to him and setting to say, like, keep this in mind, man. Like, you see Mike Finger right there, Michael Wright right here on your left.
Okay.
McDonald's in there. Yeah. Him and Don Harris are freaking buddies, right? So it's not like, hold up, don't play it yet, Jose. So it's not like
how are you doing?
These guys didn't want to ask this question. It's just they know how private Pop is.
Hang on, Jose, stop.
Yeah. They know how private Pop is, and it's just kind of one of those things you don't want to touch on because you don't know what the response is going to be. But me, I'm sitting there the whole time, and I'm not better than anybody, but I'm sitting there the whole time like, how are we talking about how is such and such going to play, and is such and such going to rebound, and who's going to come up? Like, this man lost somebody, his best friend of 44 years, a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times in society, and we'll get to it, we don't check on the alpha dogs. Like your inner circle checks on you, but your outer circle, but still in your circle, Mike's a badass. He's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Pop's one of those alpha dogs where everybody's like, oh, Pop's fine. That's Pop. But we got to check on everybody from the alpha dog to the sheepdog. You know what I mean? And that's where the question came from. I was just like, well, shit. The man lost his best friend and wife of 44 years, the grandmother to his grandchildren.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to ask him how he's doing.
And I love how you worded the question. You
Right.
didn't mention her name. You didn't reference her passing. You just said, well, let's play, Jose. This is 5 years ago, Rudy and Pop.
How are you doing, Pop? I mean, you've been through a lot. I think we forget y'all are humans. How are you doing?
That's very kind of you to ask that question. I'm good. Everybody's life has some ups and downs, hurdles, whatever you want to call it, whether it's at home or in the workplace. And that's the measure of who you are. I think you've got to look at the big picture and understand that you're really not all that.
That's typical Pop right there. I knew that was coming.
Gal, you carry on and try to do the best you can for yourself, for your family, for other people, for your friends. And that's what I think each of us tries to do to the best of our ability. So that's where I'm at, and I've got a great support group. And when I really get down to think about it, I always talk to my players about this loss or that loss, and if it's the worst thing ever happens to you, you got a pretty easy life. So this is nothing compared to what each of us might have to deal with in our personal lives. And having friends and family helps us all get through all those situations. So I've been fortunate to have that. So I've got no complaints, no excuses. Just move on.
All right. That was a great way to ask it. And people are on the chat saying, Pop always liked Rudy way more than Taylor.
That's not true. I got my ass handed to me plenty of times.
You did?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, especially after a loss, because it's always tough after a loss. But yeah. But no, that was 2019. Damn, has it been 6 years? 6 years now.
Oh, 6? I said 5. Yeah. God,
whatever.
Man, almost.
Well, in September it'll be 6 years.
This is back when the Spurs used to go to the postseason. You remember? It actually did happen. I have way less gray hair. All right, it's in the building. Presented in part by Texas Cheer Liquor, the official liquor store up in the building.
AD been in his feelings all weekend. He's hurt.
Why did you over Pop me
over
too,
Pop?
Man.
No,
Yeah,
but AD been his whole. If you go to AD's Instagram page, it's all Pop. He's hurting.
Be careful. Don't drink too much of your own product.
Yeah, he hurt.
Some of that.
He's hurting. He's hurting, as a lot of us are. Because it's like one of those things where somebody's about to end, but when it ends, it still hurts. Like we knew this was coming in some way, shape, or form, right? But now that it's there and it's like, damn, Shams between like, damn, Pop's not coaching anymore. He's not coaching anymore. 29 years. I got a 29-year-old. All she knows is Pop.
All I know is Pop. I'm 50.
Me too. I wasn't like huge basketball guy. In the 90s and the 80s, I watched soccer on Univision on mute. You know what I mean? I didn't really get into basketball until as far as really delved in until Nick Van Exel. Nick Van Exel brought me to the NBA as a diehard, but
Right.
So yeah, all I know is Pop too when I think about it.
My perspective was as the enemy. You're talking to a man who took a job in enemy territory. I spent 6.5 years working for the Dallas Mavericks flagship radio station as their pre-half and post-game host.
Oh, that's right.
I did Mavs Rewind, call-in show after all games. I did Mavericks Weekend Magazine on Saturday mornings. We paid our dues around this biatch. And on Sundays, I did another hour with the Mavericks team surgeon, Dr. T.O. Sorial. He's retired now.
Okay.
T.O. Not that T.O., Dr. T.O. He was their orthopedic surgeon. He was their Dr. Signs. I grew up and came up in our business as a Mavericks follower in Mavs territory. And then to have to take a job in San Antonio after years of being the enemy and talking shit. All I knew about the Spurs were they were this big boogeyman.
They definitely were the Mavs boogeyman.
In little old San Antonio that I never even thought about until we played them, And it was an interesting perspective. I'm always said I've been very lucky that I got to, in my career, I've worked in Dallas and San Antonio.
Yeah.
I got to cover the Mavericks-Spurs rivalry from both sides.
Same. Well, not both sides.
Few people have gotten to do that. I got to cover the first half of Dirk Nowitzki's career, and I got to cover the second half of Tim Duncan's career, which is why I have a very weird all-time favorite players list. Mike, who's your favorite players? Well, my favorite players all-time are
Manu, right.
Dirk, Steve Nash, and Tim Duncan. Those are my favorite players. It's funny. Avery Johnson was my coach in Dallas, former Mavs. So I got an interesting perspective. And once I got down here and started being around them every day, because my buddies back home would be like, I don't know how you fucking like the Spurs. My shit, the station's paying me. That's how I like them.
Right.
But then I got a genuine respect and fell in love with them as an organization just by being here.
Absolutely.
And I tell them, I haven't had this conversation in years because no one cares, but I used to tell my people would ask me, how do you do that, man? How did you go from Mavs to Spurs? I'm like, well, I had a curandera come in and exercise the demons.
Right.
But all no bullshit. It doesn't matter if it's the Redskins or the Eagles, or whatever. You cannot be around people every day, cover their games every day, be there when they win, be there when they lose, see the ups and downs that they go through. Not that I'm best buddies with Pop.
None of us
just
are.
As a reporter and being at the arena every day and being in the room and being around guys and learning what people's wives look like and recognizing kids, just seeing when you see the personal side like that.
Yeah.
You cannot be around someone like that and just not develop a genuine care for what happens to them.
Absolutely.
So that's why, you bet your ass, I will always be a Spurs fan because I got to be a part of that culture before it was gone.
Same.
And
Same.
now that it's kind of gone, those big three players are long gone. And now Pop, while he still has an office and he's the president or whatever, he won't be on that side anymore. And that's why I think guys like AD, me, I'm been up in my fields too this week, and it's not been easy.
No,
it was the right thing to do, and I'm so glad that I don't have to do that segment anymore. It's time for Bob to move on.
Jesus, I'm glad too.
I did not like myself. I didn't want to have to say
I'm glad that's over too.
But I don't get paid to come on here and pump bullshit sunshine. I get paid to come on here and tell people how I think. Even if when that happens, I'm sad by it. That's
get him out. Oh, he's leaving? What the fuck?
It sucks.
Like, what?
It was ironic melancholy for me.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our way of saying go buy booze at Texas Cheer Liquor. They got 7 locations in town. Even the one
drink your sorrows away.
That's right. They will all give you 5% off when you mention in the building. When you mention in the building at all 7 Texas Cheer Liquors, they get you the 5% hookup.
The only thing about this Spurs thing, man, I've seen the Bulls. I saw the Celtics go from the 80s all the way to 2008. I saw the Lakers go from the 80s all the way till 2000. The Lakers' last title was 2010, 2020, if you want to count that. So nobody's immune to this shit. The Patriots are about to go through probably a 20-year drought. We see the Cowboys going through a 30-year drought. I don't know when this ends because, like, let's say let's say Castle and Fox and Wemby, that's it. We got it right. We didn't have to go out and buy a bunch of shit. Houston's young. OKC's young. Murray and Joker, they're not young, but they're not old. Edwards ain't going anywhere. He gonna have to be dealt with. I mean, I could keep going. I don't know what's going to happen with the Mavs. I don't know what's going to happen with Luka and the Lakers. So we could have gotten it right. Let's say this is the 3. This is the big 3. Don't mean we're going to win shit. And again, I've seen the greatest franchises in every sport go through droughts. So to think that we're immune to this and it's just going to turn around, magically, Because it's not like OKC's going anywhere. It's not like Houston's going anywhere. We still got to go through everybody. We still got to go through, and we haven't even got back to that first step, which is make the playoffs. So if Boston can go through it, LA can go through it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm not wrong, but I'm hoping that it's different for us. But I won't be shocked if this thing takes longer than what we think. Is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is hard.
Yeah,
it's hard, and now the GOAT's gone.
Yeah, I know. And while he should have been gone, the fact that he is gone, now it's real now, and he's gone. Full team coverage here on Love You Hard TV. We're being visited by Molly Jose's dog, and we're being visited
What's up, Molly?
by AJ Flores of the Baseline Bums.
Are you Agapito?
No, I'm AJ.
I'm messing with you, dog. I'm fucking with you, dog.
Agapito is my government name.
Turn him on, Jose. Hang on, Jose. Make sure AJ's up, man.
Molly.
AJ's up.
Molly,
so
what are you doing,
here,
Molly?
You know, they did something genius the other day.
It was really cool.
So,
I commented as soon as I said, hey, what's up, Molly?
The other day, come get your goddamn dog.
Yeah.
Just kidding. So no,
Molly's fine.
Dude, I have reached out to the Spurs twice, trying to get like an In the Building podcast.
You asked for permission
based on Rock.
Based on both. We ain't asking shit. Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Dude, I didn't even get a reply. And that's the reason why the media don't like them, by the way, because they have often they come off as my shit don't stink. Didn't even reply. Okay. These boys decided they're going to go record their podcast at the Rock outside without permission.
You don't need permission. It's a free country.
Yeah, you just showed up. I never thought about that. Hell, we just show up and do it.
Yeah.
So you just rolled. What time was that? What time did y'all record that show?
So we were talking on Friday, like, hey, where are we going to record? What can we do? I was like, I don't want to do it at my parents' house. That's not the best setting.
I would have let y'all have it if you did that.
Can't do it in some places. So we're like, you know what? Screw it. Let's go to the Rock. And so we went to the Rock at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting set up for the Cumbia Festival or whatever it was.
Yep.
And
That's
we just what they did. And so we just
he's got a weird thing.
I'm fucking with
You mentioned Mexicans. Anyway, go ahead.
So we got there, and we're reading the sign that says no tobacco, illegal drugs, firearms, things of that nature. And then at the very bottom is like no tripods. And we're like, oh shit. So what do we do now? It's like, well, it's super early in the morning. They're getting set up over there. If we stay over here and we kind of stay away from them
and try not to get people not on camera that don't want to be, all that shit. Yeah.
So we just set up, and they saw it, and no one said anything. And
kick ass.
We did it until they turned on the sprinklers, if you will, the splash pad that's there.
That was them kicking y'all out.
That was them.
That was them telling y'all, hey, like, we let y'all get away with it.
So we were able to do it. It was a great setting. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Rob, who really does a great job with all of our.
He's all right.
Cinematography. I know
he talks
Rudy.
A lot of shit. Shit. He talks a little bit too much shit, but he's pretty good at camera work.
So it was
better at camera work than the Spurs takes.
And then we decided to take a bunch of jump shots at the half court, and that was fun.
I need to see the outtakes from that. Y'all posting that to YouTube?
No. We didn't film on that.
Oh, that would have been the best part.
You don't want to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. For those that don't know, the Baseline Bums are on a couple times a week on Love You Hard TV. AJ is one of three dudes over there.
It's going to be a fun season for them this year.
All you guys are under 35.
Jesus.
Yeah. I turned 35 on Wednesday.
Right.
And we're
Happy
all.
birthday.
Yeah. Thanks, bud.
So I'm interested in the take of the three millennials, if that's what y'all's generation even is.
Yep.
On the Pop News Friday.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because I remember as a kid, like Bob Hill.
How old were you in 2014?
24.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I remember Bob Hill, and the only reason I remember it is because I could spell his name. And when you're 6 years old, you're like, I can spell a coach's name.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gregg Popovich shows up and was like, I can't spell Popovich.
No.
So now I can.
Yeah.
But so it was one of those things, and just like y'all were talking about, you knew it was coming, but then you start seeing all the posts, all the players he's affected. Then you look at his coaching tree, and then you realize there's been 303 coaching changes in the NBA since he started. And you're just like, all these stats that are coming out. For me, yeah, he's the only guy, but he was more than just the coach. And I honestly do not see another person coming in and doing what Gregg Popovich did. I think we're in just a different time now.
That can't be the standard. Yeah.
We're just in a
nobody's
different time.
gonna. You get 5 now. If Mike Malone could get fired, the days of 10, 15 years at one place. I mean, Spoelstra has been there a while.
Right.
Steve Kerr. But other than that, after Spo and Kerr are gone, that 10, 20-year stuff, not going to happen.
James is in the building. $9.99. Gregg Popovich is a communist. That's an old drop.
Uh-huh.
And why won't the Spurs return my emails? Tell you what, me and Pop are fine. It's fine. You know, he never came on the show, of course. He didn't go on anybody's, but there was a time.
He used to do one with Don.
Yeah.
It was called the Pop Show.
Yeah. Can you imagine that old man would actually stop down for like 30 minutes and take calls?
And he would take calls, and people would be like, hey, what do you think? He's like, oh, you know, I get so upset. And I remember probably being like, don't get upset. You have nothing to do whether we win or lose. And I was like, why do y'all call this man? It was crazy. It was good times.
Here's the Chippy story. Most of y'all don't know. For people that have been by the channel, maybe so. So it's probably 2008, maybe 9.
I'm going to say 8.
8. It was very early in my tenure. And they were playing Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And KG's out there doing what he does, instigating, balling,
love him,
hooping, and starting shit. It's great. And a couple of the guys on the Spurs got a little tired of it. Timmy did too. And there was some pushing and shoving. Couple of texts got called. It was cool. I mean, refs had to stop the game. Texts got issued to both sides. Players were bitching, and there was a lot of pushing and shoving. And it happened 2 different occasions in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And so the game is over. And Jim Bob, my original producer, and I were down in the room, and I was just fly on the wall, and JB was there as a reporter getting tape. And he asked Pop, what did you he asked Pop, did you like the chippiness, or what did you think of how chippy things got toward the end of the game?
Yeah, I remember this.
And Pop goes, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Next question. and so it was he embarrassed JB, you know? And so I decided to stick up for JB. So I follow that with, well, do you wish it had been more chippy then? Because clearly you didn't. Because it was obviously chippy, and you act like you don't know what we're talking about. Well, maybe you wanted it to be more chippy then.
Right.
Do you wish it had been more chippy? He looks over at me, and he shoots 2 eyeball bullet holes right through my heart.
I remember this. I remember this
looks
vividly.
Dead in my eyes and goes, does anybody have any questions that make sense? I'd be happy to answer those. Dead silence, dead silence, dead silence. He turns around and walks out. All right. 2 weeks go by. And I didn't always have time to go into the locker room after games because I had to do post game.
Yeah. Spurs react.
A couple of weeks go by. Whatever reason, we were getting delayed doing the post, and so I went down to the locker room again. And I had forgotten all about
Chippy.
And does anybody have any questions that make sense? It was 2 weeks later.
2 weeks.
And I asked a very innocent question to Pop about Tony and minutes and working in.
A well thought out, good question.
Yeah,
you thought
it was a question because that's when George Hill was starting to come up a little bit, and there was that kind of that minutes distribution. It was just a random, harmless question, and he goes, "Does anybody have any questions that make sense? I'd be happy to answer those." I'm like, "You motherfucker."
At least he remembered you.
And then another couple of weeks go by, and I'm back in the room, and I ask an innocent question about the opposition. A layup question. It was a legit question, but because Pop would rather talk about the opposition anyway than the team.
Right.
And he looks at me in the face and goes, does anyone in here have any questions that make sense? I'd be happy to answer those. I'm like, you motherfucker. He gag ordered me. It was funny. It was great.
That's great.
It was great. I love it. And it was great. It makes me like him more because he was consistent, whether it was with Craig Sager or me or he liked Craig. I think he legit hated Rick. He hated Rick Bucher.
We all do.
He was kind of a douche, and Pop kind of knew it.
I hated Rick Bucher too.
Hell. So were you as sad as Gen Xers were? I was. Not that you're 18. I mean, you've been here for stuff.
I was very sad.
Dude, it's been tough.
It was. I didn't realize how sad I was until we went to the Rock and I started like really thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he definitely needs to have a statue over there. I think he needs to have some kind of
at the Rock.
At the Rock, he needs to have a statue at the Rock.
Well, it could be there until we build the new arena.
Sure, yeah, make it portable.
But if he has any say so in it, it'll never happen.
Yeah, but he should, or at least
should.
name the court after him, or do something.
They will. I think they will. We'll honor him some way.
We have to.
There's no way you can't.
Right.
Yeah, we have to.
He may tell them, wait till I'm dead. Don't be doing that.
Maybe the new street. Maybe the new street where the arena's on will be Popovich
That would be
way.
badass.
There you go.
That would be badass. All right, man. So y'all gonna do more? Y'all, we need more content from the bums. That's my request as a consumer, as a fan of your show, as a subscriber of your show. Can we get more content?
We can do more content.
Okay, is it all going to do straight? And y'all did wrestling talk the other day.
We did a WrestleMania
which
podcast.
I don't
that was a lot
love,
of fun.
but I was happy to see y'all mix it up some.
Wrestling is huge in San Antonio.
Gonna,
But I know y'all ain't a San
dude,
Antonio
I
show,
know,
but
Jesus. So are we going to get more than just Spurs? Is that going to be a
Oh,
thing
yeah.
where I get more shows
yeah.
and different content and
If
shit like
you
that?
go on our YouTube page, we have a Burger Boys
what?
review. It's called Burger Boys. And it's Rob and Cam, and they go around and try different burgers.
Yeah.
And we over the off season, we have some pretty cool mini documentaries that are coming out.
I can't wait to
which is
see.
going to be a
I
lot
wanna
of
see
fun.
those.
This
I
is
wanna
going to
see
be.
those.
Y'all need to send those out to people.
Yeah, we definitely have some cool things coming up. I think there's a Andrew Gaze mini doc that we have kind of in the pipeline right now, and I know Rob's in the chat, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be more. I can't think of any at the top of my
Andrew
head.
Gaze?
Like the Australian? From,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, random old Spurs players.
Dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's dope.
Like we can do a Nick Van Exel when he was with the Spurs.
I love Nick Van Exel. Nick Van Exel probably right behind Kobe is my favorite player ever. Nick the Quick, bad mother father. Had some good years with the Mavs too.
He shot those free throws from like
70
feet.
yards back, yeah.
Yeah, but that's where he was comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
He could
I
not
love
stand on
Nick
the
the
line.
Quick.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, we'll definitely get some more
Subscribe.
content.
Y'all go subscribe to the Baseline
Yeah,
Bums. And
follow-
I can't
follow
wait
us
to
on-
see the season.
Oh yeah,
you know?
follow us on Instagram,
Yeah,
TikTok, and all
All
those fun stuff. So we're on Twitter too. So we're doing it all, and we definitely have some good content. And if there's anything you guys want to see from us, I mean, we can talk about that too. We can talk sports, we can talk society, we can talk food. I watch the Food Network all the time, so we can talk about that.
Well, shit, y'all are on there eating hamburgers and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. Thank
Absolutely.
you, AJ. Thanks, dude, for coming in. All right.
For sure.
Mario Ellie, since you're asking, Rob.
What's the question?
I'd love a mini doc on Mario Ellie.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. Because that was such a huge get in the offseason.
It was
before
just
we
at
won the
that
title.
time that was an era where you could bring in somebody like that, put him in the corner, and he's not going to bitch about his minutes and
Right.
his shots. He's like, he knew his role. Like, it was a time in the NBA where guys were like, hey, this is my role.
Right.
I'm supposed to be the dog. I'm supposed to be the enforcer. I'm supposed to knock down corner threes. Of course, the Rockets kiss of death when they came back on Phoenix. Like,
Yeah.
I would love a doc on Mario
Well,
Ellie.
and then with him too, it was we needed a guy that was a champion to
Yeah.
show us how to go
Facts.
and compete into those critical playoff games, especially the deeper that we got. And then my thing is you look at the entire Spurs history, and for me, that Sean Elliott shot in the corner, I think is the biggest moment in Spurs history, because if he doesn't make that shot, that series is completely different. That Trailblazers team was really good.
No, I'm not saying
It's
they were.
definitely the most memorable shot they've ever had.
I don't know if it's the biggest.
You know what the
moment
second
in
most
Spurs
memorable
history.
shot ever in a Spurs game was? The Ray Allen shot.
Oof.
The
from
Derek
Miami.
Fisher shot.
And it's because, what I love, looking back on it now, I love that they got beat in the finals in 13, because it made that amazing comeback rejuvenation story. And I'll never forgive the San Antonio Express News. Those editors are long gone. Still a subscriber. Don't get mad over there. Well, if you do, it's tough
Who
shit.
gives
but
a shit?
I'll never forgive them for sitting on the Tim Duncan divorce. For weeks they knew about this, and they drop a front page report that Tim hired a PI to track her down. They print that shit on the front page of the paper itself on the day of Game 2 of the NBA Finals. You motherfuckers. That was bullshit.
But Mike,
That was such gotcha bull. There was
ain't
no
that-
reason for it. Had no
but ain't
impact
that
on the
what-
team.
That's kind of like you just said a little earlier. Like, hey, I'm not paid to come on here and blow bullshit. They're paid to get clicks and buy papers, right? Ain't that them just doing their job?
Well, the
no?
industry's about dead now, if you fast forward to now.
Yeah.
No, it's not their job to
Okay.
drop people's dirty laundry unless it has an impact, unless it's
I feel you.
news. But the problem, okay, fine. You want to print that Timmy's getting a divorce? That's weird and
But
gross.
the way they went about it,
they sat on that for weeks and waited to the day of Game 2 of the
weird.
fucking finals to do it.
If nothing else, it's morally
It
wrong.
was gross. That paper
gross.
used to be a gossip rag wannabe. It's not that anymore, thankfully.
Yeah.
And I'll never forgive them. But point is that losing in 13, Pop tells the story of he basically just decided to go to New York City where he can kind of walk around in obscurity and walk the streets for 3 days, was literally depressed, called all of his friends in the NBA. How do you deal with losing a Game 7? Doc Rivers has some idea how, sought out Doc's support, and then, the following year, they win it against the same team that beat him. Tim's kids are with him. Pop crying on the bench. The whole thing.
Well, also,
it was just the whole story, starting with the Game 6 loss and the Ray Allen shot, it turned out to be a wonderful story, a badass story of.
They started training
revenge.
camp watching that game.
Yeah,
the first day of training camp, they watched Game 6.
Yeah,
Ugh.
It's badass.
Awesome.
All right, let's do some punching. It is.
Appreciate you, big dog.
It is in the building on Love You Hard TV. Thanks, AJ.
Yeah, no problem.
Subscribe to
Now,
Baseline Bombs.
It's time for people I want to punch on In the Building.
All right. Anybody you want to punch?
I can't even get through it without laughing because it's like getting old.
What'd you do now?
No. I hate when guys tell us about injuries after a series is over or after a loss. After the Golden State series, one time, LeBron comes out, he has his hand wrapped. Oh, I punched a wall and broke a bone in my hand. I played most of the series with a broken bone. He does it again.
Where are you punching?
I'm punching LeBron James. Comes out after they get gentlemen swept by the Timberwolves, limping his ass off. Just so y'all know, I have a grade 2 meniscus sprain and I wouldn't have been able to continue the series.
Why does he do that?
I don't know, man.
Every time I get back with him and everything's fine.
And he might be the GOAT. I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that anymore because it's a subjective argument. But if you feel like he's your GOAT, I'm cool with that. But he just does some weird shit sometimes that irks me. Punch LeBron James for, once again, doing just a douchebag shit. I don't think he's a bad guy. It's just he has douchebag tendencies. I don't think he's a douchebag. He just has douchebag tendencies. That is one of them.
What, last week he's like peekabooing with his hand.
Come on,
to see if the referee had called the foul or not. While he's acting hurt.
He's Ronaldo out there.
I want to love him.
I do
like
too.
him very much. I don't love him. And that's the shit that makes me love him.
Same.
I like him very much.
Same.
All right, Jose, pull that other video that we're going to run today. Put the volume up because it's not that high. I'm going to punch myself, Rudy.
What happened?
I'm minding my own business the other day, and my girlfriend, just watch this on it.
Wow, she does your laundry? That's a barbecue ticket. Unless she rolled on it. Are you drunk? Are you sleeping?
Well,
You're like,
I guess
man.
I better get a new stack. You think these are still cash?
He sounds like Wiz Khalifa.
Oh, man. Oopsies. Help. I don't know what to say. I hope they have others. I need to come into the office and get a new stack. Son of a beach.
You have great morning hair.
Thank you. So every year they give me a wad of tickets to sell. I've sold a lot lately.
Yeah.
And I have a lot more to sell, but I'm going to have to stop by the office today. And I don't even know. I hope they have more. I washed my stack of tickets, dude. Fuck me. Punch me right in the balls. That's unfortunate. Highly unfortunate.
Come on, Mike.
I'm sorry, man. I apologize to the kids of the South.
Yeah,
so
punch
me
Mike
for washing my freaking tickets. Orlando Kell brings us the punches each and every day. If you need a family lawyer, Orlando Kell needs to be your guy. Had someone, unfortunately, reach out last week, needing Orlando's number. A colleague of a friend.
Friend of a friend.
Friend of a friend.
Tell your friend to get with my friends, and we can all get divorced.
Reached out to Orlando, and it's unfortunate that that's happening, but maybe it's going to wind up being fortunate because this is the right move for you, that person in their life. I don't even know who they are. The other fortunate thing is they are going to acquire the services of our guy, OK. This guy's practiced family law in San Antonio, Bexar County, and all over the state of Texas for over 25 years. A fine graduate of UT Law. They just don't take anybody at UT Law, but they took our guy. It's Orlando Kell, the official family lawyer in the building, 210-775-4995. You can email him directly, orlandokell@gmail.com. All right. We've come to grips with Pop being gone.
Kinda.
Now we can, there's a press conference here in a little bit as they officially introduce Mitch Johnson as the new permanent head coach of your San Antonio Spurs. I think all of our reactions Friday was, oh, man. But now that you've had the weekend to set in and think it through, where are we at on Mitch Johnson?
If Wemby likes it, I love it.
Well,
and I would hope Pop, RC, Brian ran this by Vic. Hey, Vic, what do you think of Mitch? You know, exit interviews. What do you think of Mitch?
Yep.
Oh, love him, blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. Because, again, while the goal is to win, the other goal is 1A is keep Wemby for 20 years. And how do you keep him for 20 years? You let him have a little bit of say-so. I'm not saying he runs the organization. I'm not saying he's the GM.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? But you let him have some say-so. So if Wemby signed off on it, which I think he did, I'm going to give Mitch the benefit of the doubt for now. And I'm a root for him. I'm going to support him. I'm not crazy about some of the stuff he did this year, especially the way he did Castle a lot of times. I used to come in here and rip Mitch a new one sometimes. But right now, he's my guy. He's family. You know, somebody's brought somebody new to dinner. And you try to be nice to him to start off with until, you know, he wears out his welcome. So I'm pulling for him. I'm not jumping for joy, but I'm gonna pull for him. And if Wemby likes it, I love it.
All right. I have no choice.
Don't tell me you're indifferent. Indifference is the worst.
No,
you taught
I'm
me
not
that.
Indifferent.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not sitting up here guaranteeing you he's the next Phil Jackson. I ain't telling you he's the next Gregg Popovich. I can't even tell you he's the next Doc Rivers. I don't know that. I do know that Michael Malone was out there. And Mike Budenholzer was out there, and whoever else might have been out there. But I also know this: that they have so much equity with me as an organization, as a business.
They've delved into that equity though. They've taken some out.
No question.
All right.
No question. But we talking about the guy that replaces Gregg Popovich. If they weren't absolutely convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that he could handle the job, they wouldn't do it. I have to trust that. This is not the easy move. It's to them the right move. He may be newer to us to the dinner table, but he's been there for 10 years.
No, this dude been shagging balls for Wemby as assistant, and he continued to shag him when he was the head coach.
Yeah, and he's also won a summer league title with him. I mean, again, he has coached.
So did Becky.
And Becky's won 2 titles with the Aces. He spent 70 games as an intern on the job. You know, he inherited he was Pop's right-hand man. He was front bench guy. And assuming that Brett Brown's staying on the staff and their staff is staying on the staff and they all have continuity.
They all got staff.
We'll see. I have to give him a chance. I don't know if it's the right move, but they deserve, because of their equity that they still have. I have no choice. And believe me, they want this to work, obviously. Not only do the Spurs want it to work, they want him to be the next Pop in terms of longevity. The Steelers the Spurs want to be the Steelers, Rudy. They don't want to be switching coaches every 2 years like everybody else. Popovich is about that nonstop. They hired Mitch Johnson thinking he'll be the guy at least 10 years.
I don't know if it's going to be 10, but it's going to be longer than a cup of coffee.
No, he's the guy. He's going to get all the latitude in the world. Absolutely. And no question Wemby was talked to, because whereas, this is important as far as Wemby goes. Wemby didn't play for Pop but a year and 7 games. The guy that winds up coaching Wemby's entire 95% of Wemby's career as a Spur, provided he stays here 10 years, is going to be with the next guy. He was never going to be under Pop for a long time. No. Pop was 75 years old when they brought him in.
Right.
The next guy was always going to be Wemby's next coach. They have been thinking about Pop's successor for years. And the second that Wemby became a Spur, that thing became so important. That became priority number one, is who replaces Pop so we can keep this kid. Right. And so I have to give Mitch all the benefit of the doubt. And I have some doubts, no question. I do. But I have to trust them, and that's where I am on the Spurs and Mitch Johnson. It is GC Roofing and Lone Star Nano Services. I ain't got no doubts on these people. Last year, GC Services did some work with us in the spring and in the summer, right around storm season, and they're back. 7 of y'all got new roofs put on last year through our guys at GC. So not only did they prove that they can do the job when it comes to roofs, 6 more of our subscribers did business with them because the word got out. GC knows what they're doing. If you have roof damage or you need a roof inspection, maybe you're not sure, maybe you've got some repairs, some leaks and stuff. Big rain today, big rain the last 3 days, maybe you got leaks. You want these guys to come out and take a look at it, hit them up, and make sure you mention in the building. Lone Star Nano Services is their partner. They treat roofs, so they can either replace your roof if it needs be, or treat it, and he'll replace it and then still treat it, because Nano Service, that puts 10 to 15 more years to the life of your roof. So reach out to me if you're interested in GC Services, or call them at 210-347-0426. It's 347-0426. All right, what else? The Rockets are gone. There are now no more Texas teams left in the NBA playoffs. Sleep. Yeah. You were ready to dog on Steph, though.
No, I'm not ready to dog on him. I just want to start holding everybody to the same standard that LeBron gets held to.
Thank you.
If Steph would have, he didn't. Lost 2 series where he was up 3-1. He didn't. Yep. He's still in. And then Steph, I don't know where to put Steph. I don't know what we do with Steph. I don't know what we do with Steph. Again, I hate that this era we're in where we got to rank everything. But I don't know what to do with Steph. He has 4 rings. Oh, he has 2 of them because of KD. Okay. Pippen's a top 75 player. I could go on and on. Nope. Magic. Are we really going to talk about the Magic's Lakers and Birds Celtics? How many Hall of Famers? Everybody wins with somebody. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know what to do with Steph.
He's better than your boy.
Who's my boy?
Kobe.
I'm not taking that bait.
He's better than your boy.
I'm not taking that bait. That's fine. Again, that's fine. It's a subjective argument. I'm not taking that bait. You can't bait me in on a Monday, bro. You could have got me on a Friday, but on a Monday, I'm not taking that bait. I'm not taking that bait.
Good. You shouldn't, because it's a stupid opinion.
You see it? You can't get me, dog. A troll can recognize a troll from afar. You trolling.
I think it's facts, but it's okay.
It's okay. It is okay because you're wrong.
But no, now they got to play. We get Steph and Ant-Man.
Did you guys see, by the way, the Warriors are underdogs in a series for the first time in 11 years?
Really?
Yep.
Minnesota's good.
No, they're good. I'm just saying, I didn't know that they've never been an underdog. With some of the teams they had, what?
Yeah, in the playoffs. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Minnesota wins in 5 games.
I do too.
Minnesota wins and beats Golden State in 5 games?
5.
Yeah.
Huh?
6 tops.
I agree. Yeah, they're too big. Anthony.
Well, this is the thing. Here's the thing. This is the difference, Jose, Mike, Agapito. Steve Kerr is smart enough to know Rudy Gobert is playing like Wilt Chamberlain. Let me put Looney in. You know what I'm saying? Steve Kerr is going to sit there like, I know Jackson Hayes is right there at 7 feet tall. I'm just going to allow Rudy Gobert to continue to be Shaquille O'Neal. Fuck Jackson Hayes. JJ Redick's an asshole and should be fired. But that's another story. No, damn. When does this series start?
Tomorrow.
Give me till tomorrow.
The Warriors are tired.
Give me till tomorrow.
They're not as deep as Minnesota. Minnesota underplayed last year against Dallas. They were way better than they showed. They're playing terrific basketball. The Warriors needed 7 games to beat a Rockets team with no star and no offense to speak of.
Jalen Green was a no-show.
Total no-show.
Well, he stinks.
That kid is not a superstar.
He got pain in nails.
Well, that didn't make him score any points. And Minnesota's got a superstar and the best defender in basketball, if it ain't Wemby. Minnesota in 5.
You got OKC or Denver?
OKC in 6.
I'm going to take OKC, too. That's going to be tough because Denver found.
I don't want that.
Yeah, it looks like. I don't know. Shit, give me. When that series starts tonight, don't it?
I think so.
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah.
I think the Thunder sweep their ass.
Probably.
You think they sweeping Joker?
Yeah.
Sweep?
I think
you don't think Joker and Jamal Murray are gonna win one game?
I think the Nuggets were lucky to beat the Clippers.
Well, that's because they got James Loser Harden.
Hey, F the Clippers, by the way.
Oh yeah, they're fucking assholes. Horrible.
Why are y'all mad at the Clippers? They did what they do. That's what those people. That's what James Harden.
Freaking Jimmy got me again.
Yeah, I was right there with
Jimmy
you.
got me again, man. He's
same old Jimmy.
Damn Romo. He's Romo with a beard and a tan.
Talk about legacies. In 20 years, no one will remember James Harden ever played in the league.
Who was it? It was Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie, who was on the pod, he said, if you're not top 5, you're not Bron, Mike, Kobe, like if you're not one, we don't care about you 10 years from now. So you give.
Who said that?
No, Spencer Dinwiddie. No, I'm saying he agrees with you. I don't think it's going to take 20. It's going to take in about 5 years. We're not going to talk. 5 years after James Harden retires, he'll go into the Hall of Fame because everybody makes the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Bookie's going in, but after his Hall of Fame induction, 2-3 days, we ain't talking about James Harden.
James Harden.
No, I'm talking about.
I don't agree with that. You have to be top 5.
I just want to let you guys know, by the way, the press conference is live right now.
Who, Mitch?
Yes, and Pop is not talking with Tim Duncan and Manu flanking him.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
We'll go back and we'll have to watch.
We'll play that tomorrow.
No, man, I don't. I think that goes for Harden. James Harden, Russell Westbrook's another one. Guys that have won MVPs that no one will remember in 20 years.
Look how we treat.
Look how we remember Dirk Nowitzki.
Look how the LeBronites treat Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but that's because it's those two. Everybody's going to remember Dirk. Everyone's going to remember Kobe. Everybody's going to remember Tim. Everybody's going to remember. I mean, everybody's going to remember guys that won. That were a part of something special. Harden will be a fart in the wind.
Yeah, for sure.
He will be forgotten.
He got me.
He's my generation's Karl Malone.
I see. No one forgot Karl Malone either. And
I've forgotten about
Karl Malone. Now be careful there. It's just going to be one of these Gen X, Gen Z, or whatever you are arguments. Karl Malone was a fucking baller, a dog.
Until it mattered.
He played in the Jordan era. No one won the championship except for the Rockets when Mike retired for 10 years.
That's fair.
So I mean, gosh, then John Stockton, he's a spare too,
John
right?
Stockton, not
and
a spare.
Karl Malone's a spare. Gary Payton's a spare. Sean Kemp's a spare.
These are all facts.
Come on. No, those are not facts. You came up in the Jordan era. No one won the title but Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon in the span of 8 years in the 90s.
That is a key component in my
reason Olajuwon
that's a key component.
Jordan was out.
That's a key component in my GOAT debate. Everybody got rings on his watch. Dirk,
Mike?
No, Bronny. Dirk got one.
Oh,
Tim got 2.
Celtics got 1.
Kobe got 1. Celtics got 1. Steph got 4. Kawhi got 1. I mean, everybody won on LeBron's watch. Everybody. You get a ring. You get a ring. You get a ring.
That also the longevity of his career. Also.
Hey man, I'm talking about. I'm talking about in his prime.
I hate to see it.
Like Dwayne Wade, everybody's going to remember him.
Are they?
Superstar. Yeah, he's a champion.
Okay.
He's a champion.
I think he's going to be more well remembered than Harden. And
well, he has 3 rings. Yeah.
Yeah. D Wade also won.
Yeah, Kawhi got 2, but
D Wade was like D Wade won championships with completely different rosters, like Kobe did.
Right.
No, I'm tired of James Harden's bullshit.
I will say
Great
it's
point.
fitting that he's a Clipper too.
I will say the only thing that I will say complimenting Harden is that he should have won the MVP over Russell Westbrook. So.
Fine.
F and MVP.
All right. How'd it go at Slackers? I'm sorry I missed it. I wanted
It's
to go.
all good. It was a great time. Cinco de Mayo at Slackers. They know how to throw a party. They brought out the mariachis. Great time at Slackers.
You know what? I wouldn't even have been able to sell tickets anyway
because you had washed them.
Washed them.
So we'll set up something this week to have people come. Probably the North Star location. Which one?
North Star? I'm going to go by today and pick up a stack of tickets, and I'm going to set up another pop-up. We'll figure out which location. I feel like a dumbass. Otherwise, it went fine.
Great.
Good. Very
Great
good.
time out at Slackers.
All right. They got 5 locations. Med Center on Fredericksburg Road. On Rector behind North Star Mall. The one Rudy was at, 281 at Thousand Oaks. On Nacogdoches. And then the one near downtown on St. Mary's. All right. Y'all ready for a members only?
Why not?
If you're a member, we're about to throw one down. What, 11:30? If you're watching live,
that gives Jose enough time. I got enough time.
Very good. Members only. If you're a member, if you're not, you need to become one. Right now, it's only $4.99. Rudy and I with a members only in the building edition coming up here in about 15 minutes. For the rest of you heathens that won't become members, we'll see y'all back on here on the free show. Manana. Love you. All right.